Hey Soul Surfers, welcome back to the channel. First off, I just would like to thank you all so much for your comments, likes, subscribe, shares, all of those beautiful things. They are greatly appreciated on this channel, and I love having you as part of my community. Today we are talking about the power of responsibility and how taking responsibility for your life is probably the most powerful thing that you could ever do for yourself. So in today's society, there's a lot of beliefs that everything we do is supposed to be a response to what happens outside of us. That is totally giving our power away to everything else, because that means we have no control over what happens, which means we're kind of doomed to whatever anyone else does or decides for us. There is no power in waiting, relying on other people to give us what we need and want. The thing that we have to know here, and that I've learned here, is that reality, everything that we see in our reality, is a reflection of us. It is showing us something, some part of ourselves that is active in our vibration or has been active in our vibration in the past. By accepting responsibility for what you see outside of yourself, you now have the power to change it by changing yourself. By telling other people that we only responded because of something they did to us, again, that is just giving our power away. That's saying, I am helpless in this situation and everything I do is dependent on what you do. And the sooner we realize that our responses have an effect on other people, that's where our power lies. So if we are not getting the responses, reactions, or treatment that we would like from other people, we need to turn that in on ourselves, because what that's showing us is a part of us that we feel about ourselves. So if we are being treated in a way that is less than desirable, we have some part of us that feels we deserve that sort of treatment. So that's where we can take our power back and we can say, I don't like what I'm seeing, so I really need to look at this part. What is this belief that I have that is allowing this treatment to take place in my life toward me? If we just live in the victim mentality where we are helpless and we can't do anything and we're doomed to the circumstances that we have, what joy is there in life? I just recently learned that the work that I do, everything that I see is a reflection of me. And it's so cool. At first it was kind of like a hard pill to swallow, because it's like, crap, I have to own up to these things. So the first step, of course, is owning up to it and knowing that we are always responsible for our actions. Nobody can control us. Nobody can make us do things. We always, always, always have a choice on how we're going to respond and react to other people, to situations, and to our circumstances. By knowing we have a choice and that we are directly responsible for the things that we're seeing in our lives based on our subconscious beliefs, because I honestly was like, I would never say that I should be treated this way. I would never say that I deserve this. But that's where it's the subconscious programming running the mind and not necessarily the conscious mind. The subconscious mind is the one who does run the show. So this is where you can take a look at your limiting beliefs. I have a video here I'm going to link about limiting beliefs and busting through them and really taking a look. Now, when we do this exercise consciously, we may not get to all of the beliefs. And actually, as we start to use the reality that we see outside of us as a reflection of what we can look at, the limiting beliefs become more and more clear in the different areas of life. And you'll actually even probably start to notice patterns from your current reality in relation to other situations in the past. So oftentimes our beliefs show up, and they may show up as the same person, different face, if you will. We'll call it that. It's like they have the same behaviors, but they just have a different face to them, because we're attracting what we subconsciously believe in life. Again, the same jobs, same with jobs, same with work. If you're attracting the same jobs, if you're working the same, dead-end jobs, and you're working really hard for money and it's not that much money even, and your effort and energy is not being repaid the way that it should be, that's a reflection of how you feel. And that's when you can take a look, and this is where you can take the responsibility and say, you know what, I have control here. I'm changing my belief in this, and I'm going to change what I see outside of myself as a result. This is also where affirmations become very important. So there's a video I'm going to link here also about affirmations and why they're important. And pretty much when you start reprogramming your truth and you reprogram using affirmations, you start to shift into this new person. Well, it's not even this new person. You just start to shift into the person who is already worthy and deserving of being paid the proper amount, of being treated respectfully, of being loved, of being honored, being cherished. So when you start to change these beliefs about yourself and about the world around you, you'll actually start to see a difference reflected back to you. This is where I also like to use my triggers to my advantage, because if I'm in a situation that triggers me, it gives me the opportunity to, well, really, triggers are just emotional guidance anyway. They're there. Anytime we're feeling something that is a fear-based emotion, which is any negative feeling emotion, because emotions are just, they just are, they're not good or bad. We just attribute meaning to them. So when we're not feeling good and we're feeling bad as a reaction to something, that's where we can take a moment and say, oh, what is it about this I don't like? What is this showing me? What can I reprogram my belief in this situation to be, and focus on that so I don't get this same reflection from the universe in the future? Again, as I mentioned, accepting responsibility is maybe a difficult first step because it requires us to look and realize that everything we've experienced is because of us. It's what we've allowed into our life. It is something that we have been aligned with. And that can possibly trigger a feeling of shame. It can trigger a feeling of sadness. But instead of viewing it that way, I'm starting to view it as, wow, now I have the key. This is what I've needed my whole life to get everything that I've ever desired, from relationships, from jobs, just the joy that I'm experiencing in my life now. So this is where I really like to apply the philosophy of feel the fear and do it anyway. Because when you feel the fear and you go through it and you accept the responsibility for what you are seeing, it is going to change your world. It is going to change your life, because then you have taken your power back. You have taken your power back and you realize that you control everything without actually controlling. You control everything by controlling yourself. And as you start to do this work, you will feel a shift in yourself. And, I can sit here and share my story with you all, but really the proof is going to be if you do it yourself. Because even if you're skeptical, give it a try. Because really, if you're not getting the results that you like and you're seeing the same results in your world and there are results that you don't like, what do you have to lose? Actually, I should phrase it this way. What do you have to gain? You have so much to gain. You have a whole different perspective of life, a whole different way of living, and a whole different level of joy and fulfillment. And you're gonna see it all starts with you. A way of thinking that really shifted my perspective was going from the thought and the mantra that things are happening to me and shifting that to things are happening for me. The universe is always working with me. Universe, higher power, God, whatever you decide to call it, it's always working for me. It's always working. So even in the times that things feel heavy and difficult, the universe is trying to bring us what we want in life. It's trying to show us the lessons that we were meant to learn. And by accepting responsibility for ourselves the sooner we can get to the joy and happiness that we are truly seeking. And we often are seeking it outside of ourselves. But really what we need to do is turn it within ourselves and just say, what is this showing me? And we'll get out of that victim mentality faster because we know we have the power, versus waiting for everything around us to shift, which it really won't until we do and know our worth and value. And we are all born worthy and deserving. We don't have to prove it to anybody, regardless of what we've been taught or told in childhood or throughout our lives. We are always worthy at every point in our lives. Even if we make mistakes, we are still worthy and deserving of great things. If you're struggling with forgiving yourself for past behavior and using it as a way to punish yourself, check out these guided meditations that I have using the healing power of Ho'oponopono. I have a 5-minute version and a 10-minute version you can use, because by punishing ourselves, we are keeping ourselves stuck. We are telling the universe we deserve to be punished, we deserve bad things to happen to us, and so that is what we're going to see more of. But that couldn't be further than the truth. So I highly recommend setting yourself free through forgiveness of yourself and through forgiveness of others using these meditations. All right, soul surfers, I really hope that you are going to take back your power by accepting responsibility for the life that you see around you, by taking control of yourself, what you believe, and knowing your true worth and value and what you deserve. Maybe a little uncomfortable at first to face these truths, but when you do, the other side of it is so exciting, happy, joyful, and it all starts within yourself. How much more powerful could it possibly be to accept responsibility? Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you found something that you can use in this video and take with you into the world. If there are any topics you'd like to see me cover on this channel, go ahead and leave a comment below as well, because I would love to see what you want to know about, and I can look into making a video for you covering the topic. Thanks again for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next video.